What's up, everybody? This Sunday, Iceman Wrestling Network, and Ivan Koloff, Georgie Animal Steel, and Nicole Bass all passed away this week in the world of professional wrestling. George the Animal Steel, I believe, was like 79. Koloff was like 74. I could be wrong on the numbers. Nicole Bass was in her early 50s. A lot of people don't remember Nicole Bass, but she came to the WWE in the early 2000s as a heel uh, uh, women competitor. She had this manly look to her. You could tell she was probably doing steroids or something, and whatnot. I mean, I'm out of here to judge her, but I don't know. Her stint in the WWE was very short, so we don't know really what happened to her afterwards. But Ivan Koloff had a great career in all promotions, a great Russian heel. Uh, I believe it was his nephew, Nikita Koloff, who also emerged after him with another great career. But Ivan Koloff did a lot of things. Always came out with the chain. He was a champion in most places, and it was sad to hear of his passing for sure. I remember watching him back in the '70s, and yeah, he was a big part. And even back then, he was sort of like getting into his prime. Um, so he was around for quite some time, but it's a very sore loss for the world of wrestling, as well as George the Animal Steel, who was a professor in real life. I remember so many different feuds. I remember George chewing up the turnbuckles in the old WWF rings. He had the green tongue. I remember he had the situation with the Macho Man Randy Savage where George Steele had this um, lust for Miss Elizabeth, and he kidnapped her at one point. Um, it was just some fun times watching George the Animal Steel. I mean, he was never a major star in the world of wrestling, but he did create an impact. And, I'm sure he did a lot of good where he taught at schools and whatnot. But yeah, three in 1 week. It's like they always say they come in threes. So it was like, it was depressing to hear because Ivan Koloff, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Ivan because he was, for the most part, he was a heel. And he was a good heel. But George Steele, I saw a lot, and I saw him live one time at the Hartford Civic Center way back in the '70s, and I forgot who he wrestled, but it was just the same routine with George the Animal Steel, ripping up the turnbuckle, tearing it apart with his mouth and teeth, and showing that green tongue, and he had the hairy back and whatnot. He was just he was one of those guys like Andre the Giant that he was somebody that people looked forward to see. He was like, a wonder of the world of professional wrestling, at least in my eyes. So, rest in peace, George Steele. Rest in peace, Ivan Koloff, as well as Nicole Bass. The wrestling world has taken a major loss with these former competitors, and hopefully there's good things to come in the near future. So, with all that being said, this is the Iceman here on the Iceman Wrestling Network.